All right, guys. So I'm out today. Unfortunately, my daughter has got a fever and she's weak and nobody else can watch her. So I am watching her today. But that doesn't mean we're not learning today. We're not getting this concept really down. So today, I want you to look at all these triangles you see today. And the first thing I want you to find is I always want you to locate where you see the L. We talked about this yesterday. Where is the L in this problem? The perfect L. If I look here, if I see here and here, there's my L. Okay. Now, if I'm going to set up the equation, hopefully you remember the equation from yesterday. All right. So the equation would be leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. And we'll talk more about the formula tomorrow. But leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. And I said find the L. Well, this L stands for something, and it stands for leg. Once you find the L, you now know this is a leg and this is a leg for your formula. And then this will be called the hypo. Okay, this will be called the hypo. So let's go ahead and attack this problem. We're going to go ahead and plug in the certain parts of this. So if I go ahead and put 5 squared plus 12 squared equals my hypo, I don't have anything here for it. It's just basically a question mark wondering what it is. That's what the whole idea of this Pythagorean theorem is, to find the missing side. So what we're going to do for that, we're just going to call it x. And you guys are familiar with that. So we're just going to call it x squared. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is go into your Google Classroom and actually use the link I gave you for the calculator. And go ahead and open the calculator right now. As you do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the calculator. And I want you to get very familiar with this. And today I would have had you guys do an activity that would have been using this calculator a bunch. And here, what I want you to get familiar with is these buttons here that they have here. Like, we know this is our square root sign. We know at the end we're going to need to do that. But this button here is interesting. Again, what was my equation? It was 5 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. Now, since they're both in a row like this, I'm not going to have to subtract anything. I just have to do these squares and combine like terms, right? So watch what I'm going to do right now. This is kind of crazy, but I'm going to go 5 squared. That's what this button means. And look what I did. 5 squared. Isn't that what it's looking like? Plus 12 squared. Okay. And then I'm going to put equals. So when you have that here, isn't that interesting how that all worked out? It's not always going to work out that way, because what if 12 was my hypo? Then it wouldn't work out that nicely. But when you have both your legs, your calculator becomes very easy to use now. So now you have 169 here. So let me go ahead and put all of this equaled 169, which is x squared, right? Now, let's go ahead and finish the problem off. You remember what to do? How do you get rid of that squared? You square root it. And if you didn't know, this is a perfect square, and you should know it. But if you don't, you get to use your calculator. So go back to your calculator. Square root of 169 is 13, okay? And if I wanted you to make sure you memorized another one, 196 is 14, okay? See how they're in reverse, all right? Cool. I'm going to clear all of this. I love this calculator in the sense that I can always have different rows to go back to. So I can see that what I just did in the previous step, and then go to the next step and the next one. This is what this SBAC is going to give you. This is the SBAC calculator, so get comfortable with it. All right. All right, so let's go to the next problem. I want you guys to really take these serious so you know what you're doing. This one's super similar to the last one. It almost looks exactly like the same triangle you did, but different numbers. Go ahead and try to set it up. Do the best you can. Okay, now if you were to try this problem, again, where is your L at? Find your L. Those are your legs. So 20 to the second power plus 48 to the second power equals x to the second power. Again, this one's set up nicely. The next one will not be. Go to your calculator, and let's go ahead and try to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead and go, I believe it was 20. And we're going to hit this button, squared, plus 48 squared and I got 2,704. So when I did all that math, this squared, this is actually 400 plus 48 squared, but I'm able to put it in a straight line right here. That's exactly what it looks like. That's what I get. And then to finish the problem off, let's make sure you understand that. So all this equals 2704 equals x squared. And to finish it off, you're going to square root both sides. Okay? So when you do that, you square root 2704. It's a perfect square. It ends up being 52. All right? All right, let's go to this next one. This one is a little different. All right? Again, your first step is always to try to find the L. All right? So when I look at my L, I see it, it's backwards, but it's still perfect 90 degrees. When I say L, can you please just find where the 90-degree sign is? And that touches your legs, okay? So this is a leg here, and it's missing. What are we going to call our missing leg? We're just going to call it X. So could you set the formula again? Again, remember it's leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. So what is it going to be? Well, I know we're missing a leg, plus I know 18 is another leg, right? Equals 82. Okay. And that's my leg, or that's not my leg, that's my hypo. Okay. Now, this isn't going to work so nice and neatly in the calculator. We're still going to use the calculator for sure, because these are really big numbers. But when we're dealing with this, let's go ahead and go to the calculator. You're going to have to give me an answer for 18 squared and 82 squared. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get this out of here. 18 squared. That's 324. So let's go back here. This is going to be 324. This is still x squared plus equals, and let's go 82 squared. 82 squared, 6,724. So let's go ahead and put that in. What was it? 6,724. All right, now this is where we have to start thinking about our equation skills. We have to get rid of this and move it over. Hopefully you remember this, okay? All right, go ahead and do that. This cancels out. This comes down and becomes x squared equals, and let's go ahead and figure this out. Again, let's just use our calculator. Let's not have to use our brain. We get to use a calculator for this. So the answer was 6,224. And then what was the other answer again? Let's go back. 324. Okay, minus 324. All right, so it's 64 or 6,400. Let's now, you should know what to do now. So go ahead and, what was it, 6,400. What was your last step? So you're going to go ahead and get rid of this exponent. You got to kill that exponent. I hate to say that, but you got to. How do you do it? You square root it. Okay, so let's go and do that. We're going to square root 6,400, and we get 80. Just like the square root of 64 would be 8. 2 more zeros becomes 80. All right, so good job. Now I'm going to give you one from your homework in just a second, okay? Okay, so let's finish off this Edpuzzle with what's interesting about these problems is that there's just decimals in there. Don't let those mess with you, okay? Same step, let's just go ahead and put the L. All right, hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we were doing. Is that my leg squared plus 9.2 squared equals, we don't know what that is, x squared. And we get to use our calculators. And this one's all in a nice little row, so we get to put all of that in our calculator. Let's go ahead and do that. I believe it was what, 5.2 and 9.2? 5.2 squared plus 9.2 squared equals this 111.68. So you're going to go back here. You're going to get all of this equaled what? 111, what was it again? 111.68. Okay. Equals that, equals x squared. We know what to do here, okay? We're going to go off the wall, all right? So then you go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and click here, 111.68. Okay. So then this one says round maybe to the 10th. If it's 10.5, this 6 could bump it up to make this even bigger. So when we start rounding, we got to look at the number right next to it. So if this 6 here, if it says round to the 10th, this is the 10th. If it said round to the 100th, this is the 100th spot. So you would look at the 7, and it would be 10.57 if it said round to the 100th. If it said round to the 10th, you would look at this 6, and it would round this 5 up to a 6, so it would be 10.6. All right, be careful with your rounding skills. We're going to go over that a ton too, because I know you guys have forgotten. 5 or more, raise a score. 4 or less, let it rest. And I know that's an old concept, but we'll do the best we can with that. All right, guys, I think you guys are going to be okay. When you look at your homework, like this one is kind of confusing. Let me just show you this one real quick too, just to set it up. If you were to look at this and try to find your L is always where the right angle is. So what are you missing? You're missing that guy right there. So if you were to set this up, it'd be 5.3 squared plus x squared equals 7.2 squared, okay? Please, once you're done with this, do the quizzes to review your skills, and then I have a practice quiz at the end of the period. And if you finish all of that, finish this homework as well. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Sorry about being out today.